What is good, guys, and welcome to my top 10 most beautiful Android games that you've never played. So these are all titles with 1 million downloads or less, which sounds like a lot, but in the scheme of Android games really isn't. As always, we're saving the best till last, and with that being said, let's get started. Game number 1 is called Luminosity, and this game will make you gawk at the attention to detail, gorgeous sound design, and the way they've imagined a 3D world with each individual object seemingly made out of paper, all with this insane depth of field effect. You climb upstairs, you hear the creaks, you jump on a rope, you can feel the tension. It feels like walking inside a living storybook. A storybook with puzzles to solve, missions to undertake, and charming, if slightly forgettable characters. Alright, number 2 is a bit of a strange one. It's called Oddworld Stranger's Wrath and was originally made for the Xbox in 2005, and it has since been remastered with super high resolution textures and shadows. With a good phone cranking all the settings to maximum, you get very high resolution gameplay. It lacks some of the more recent breakthroughs in ambient lighting, so the game world looks a little bit flat, but don't underestimate the level of detail on offer here. Number 3 is Morphyte, which has a very different visual direction to the other two games with simple shapes and soft pastel colours, but it juggles a number of elements like its slick animations, flat minimalism in a 3D world, great camera work, audio and even voice acting to make it a visually unique and memorable game. Now we've got a game you probably didn't expect to make the list because of how much it does not take itself seriously. This is Lolcart, and with just over 1 million downloads, it feels like you're inside a high-res Simpsons episode. Gameplay-wise, it's nothing special, it's a fun, simple kart racer, but I really like the unique art direction. What we have here is called cel shading, these strong, thick black lines you're seeing around every object, and it's a rare effect among a mobile phone game, previously seen on full console titles like Borderlands. Alright, number 5 is Lords of the Fallen, a surprisingly good game given it has just 1,000 downloads, which admittedly is due in part to its steep price tag. But this game looks great even on the lowest graphic settings. Enemies are reactive to even the angle of your attacks, so combat has a crunchy, tactile feel to it, and parrying attacks never gets old. It's really satisfying. Strangely though, given I would say the main selling point of this game is the graphics, it doesn't support full resolution on 18:9 aspect ratio displays. It's also not particularly difficult and verges on repetitive, but does have a decent progression system to keep your interest. Then we've got Bright Ridge, and I'm gonna say this is one to watch. In some ways it is so good that it's disappointing when it falls short in others. When at its best, it's got a beautiful soft colour palette, slick animations, and some pretty advanced lighting effects. Unfortunately, right now it's just not particularly playable. There's a lot of object pop-in, and you can sometimes become lost in foliage or stuck in the environment. The game doesn't hold you by the hand either, so you'll spend a fair bit of time wondering what it is you're actually meant to be doing. One game that has managed to look, on one hand, very simple, but on the other hand very beautiful, is Ace Academy, which again uses cel-shaded graphics, and this makes individual game objects pop. You've got beautiful blue skies and sunsets to experience, and a booming war-themed soundtrack to spur you on. Comic books are used to flesh out the admittedly fairly bare-bones story, and the gameplay is responsive. Unfortunately, it does have a loot box upgrade system, which means progression slows down quite quickly. But if you are into flying games, there aren't a lot of great options on Android, and out of all the ones I've tried, this is by far the most pleasant journey. Then we've got Opus, which is very much a therapeutic experience. What you really want to do is throw on some headphones and you'll be listening to soft piano music whilst hearing the crunching of footsteps and the gentle chime of bells. It does have a dark visual design, but with a lot of character, and it's a strongly story-driven game, with some light puzzle solving, to the point where there's even an option just to play the game to follow the story. It's charming, sometimes funny, and heartwarming kind of stuff. Number 9 is a game you've probably seen before, so I'll only briefly mention it here, but Afterpulse Elite Army is for sure the best looking 3D shooter on the platform. Kinda crazy to think it only has 50,000 downloads, especially considering it is free. Alright, so my pick of the number 1 most beautiful game on Android right now that you probably haven't heard of is called Samorost 3. These are the most immensely detailed textures you have seen on a mobile game. It feels like exploring a living painting, complete with the soft sounds of birds flapping, crickets chirping, and trees rustling. And similar to Rayman, it uses multiple 2D layers to give a strong feeling of depth. The game does not hold your hand either, but given the 2D nature of the game, it's a little bit harder to get lost than with a 3D title, which makes it feel like a journey of discovery, and you really don't mind when it looks this good. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I've got lots more like this: Android games, Android apps, Android customization, pretty much everything to do with Android, so check it out, I'll leave them as cards above. If you are new to the channel, if you could smash that subscribe button down below, that would really mean a lot to me. And with that being said, my name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.